What's going on, guys? This is DaWoblefet, and I am back with another set of mechanics tests. I also want to point out at the start of this video, if you have mechanics interactions that you'd like me to test, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I usually mention that at the end of the video, but if I were a normal person, I wouldn't watch through all of these things. So if you are interested in looking at a particular mechanic, you're free to ask in the comments section below, and usually I do look at that stuff if I don't already know what it is, because it can be handy to get that sort of stuff on camera. Anyway, the mechanic I want to start off with is actually pre-recorded. I put this up on my Twitter a couple days ago, and this was a mechanic regarding toxic and Oko moves that was discovered by Sadistic Mystic. So I'll go ahead and show it off here. This has a lot of interaction on Twitter. I saw we have like about 1,000 retweets at time of recording, and we're at like 178,000 views or something like that. It's insane. It's really cool. Anyway, if you missed it there, my Neo King used Toxic into the Doug Trio, and I set Trick Room. The reason I did that was so that way I can use Instruct plus Toxic, so that way I can just immediately have the Neo King use Toxic this turn, and then use a follow-up attack. So by using Toxic, even though it said it doesn't affect the Doug Trio, I don't really care. It doesn't matter whether or not it poisons the Doug Trio. The point is that it used Toxic, because what Toxic does is it sets the sure hit flag on the Pokemon rather than on the move. And because we did that, now the Nido King has a sure hit Horn Drill, and the Doug Trio is dead. So it's kind of cool. Not viable at all in VGZ, but it is something that's interesting. You can also pull this off by skill swapping Magic Bounce to the poison type. But yeah, I don't think you'd be doing that much either. Anyway, let's go ahead and start some music. And we're also going to be looking here at the Battle Mechanics research thread. This is what I'm recording right now. So the first thing, we're basically going to just be testing in order down the line. So in one of my previous videos, I documented that Lunar Dance has identical storage mechanics to Healing Wish. And I also documented that Lunar Dance will trigger if you could even potentially restore PP, even if the Pokemon's HP is full. And so this fellow, Apathetic in Action, asks, okay, can you store two Lunar Dance and Healing Wishes? Or do you use them both at once? Or what happens? So this is a really good question, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that first. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Nintendo Switch. And we'll go ahead and get this started. So I've already got some of these Pokemon in my party, and so we should be able to just get our show on the road. Our Cresselia here has Lunar Dance, and I think I'll just lead with the Psyduck. Today we're listening to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Right now we're listening to the Pokeathlon, which is really cool. Big fan of the Pokeathlon. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Lunar Dance here. And I'm going to not consume any PP with my Psyduck here. So I'll just waste a potion. And so this will kill the Cresselia. And then I will go out into my Hatterene. And I will use Healing Wish. And then after I use Healing Wish, I will switch out my Psyduck. And then I will bring it in this upcoming turn. And we'll see which one activates. If the Healing Wish will activate, or if the other will activate the Lunar Dance. So is it based on which one's more recent, which one's later, something else? I don't really know what it would be based on. So in this case, Psyduck has lost HP on both of them. So let's just see which one restores stuff. So Sonic gets sent out. That looks like Lunar Dance. Cloaked in the Mystical Moonlight, I think is Lunar Dance. I believe that's Lunar Dance. Let me make sure of that. I'm pretty sure it's Lunar Dance. Cloaked in a Mystical Moonlight is Lunar Dance. And then the other is the other. But I can go ahead and test that real fast. I'll just attack each other. I just realized that the desktop audio wasn't playing. This will sound a little bit better now, rather than white noise. Let's go ahead and now we'll switch out Psyduck to low plenty. And I'll just kill the Milcery. So now I'll switch back into my Psyduck, and this should say something like Healing Wish came true, I think, is what it says. Yep. So those look like they get stored. Yep, Healing Wish came true. Yep. So let's go ahead and swap this out again. So in our case there, it was Lunar Dance. And so the Cresselia there was faster than my Hatterene. So next question to ask would be, well, what happens if I have Hatterene use Healing Wish first? Is it the same idea? Does Lunar Dance have some sort of priority or what? So we'll go ahead and do this. Doesn't actually matter what I lead with, but I'll go ahead and lead with Psyduck again just for consistency. And that's going to lag a little bit. Not terribly surprised. Let's actually see if we can get something a little bit more reliable for our music today. Apologies as I pull this up. Pull something good up. Alright, so we'll go ahead and Healing Wish. I don't want to use any PP because I don't want Lunar Dance to trigger. Like, just because it can. How about some Kirby music? Y'all like Kirby music? Kirby music's fine. Play some Kirby music. Alright. Pardon as it's loading, you can probably hear snippets of that. Okay, saw Lunar Dance, and now I'll switch Psyduck out. It's my Golduck. So this time we used Healing Wish first. So let's see if that how that behaves. So I did do Healing Wish because it didn't do the spinny animation. So that means it's not based on speed or anything like that. So it's probably just Q based, if I had to guess. By that I mean in computer science terms. Well, actually this would be in regular human terms as well. But a Q is basically what is it? First in, first out. So it's like basically waiting in a line. So you walk up to the McDonald's employee and you say, "Hey, I want a cheeseburger." And so the McDonald's guy then puts in your order. And then the other guy walks up behind you and he says, "Hey, I want to get some chicken McNuggets." And so after this man gets his chicken McNuggets, then what happens? Well, after he gets his McNuggets, then he has to wait until my order is finished for my cheeseburger. And so it's a queue. There's some other stuff in computer science where you might not do it that way. Like you might make it so the person who most recently requested something is the person who gets your stuff, but that's not the case here, at least so far as I can tell. So we'll just go ahead and potion a couple times. But yeah, that's the DaWoblefet's jank Q definition. I hope that's right as well. Otherwise I'll look like a complete fool. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to double Healing Wish, and then I'm going to use Lunar Dance. And I think that should pretty well guarantee that it's a Q, but... So I'll double Healing Wish. And as long as Psyduck has any damage on it at the end of this, we'll be good. Okay, I didn't take any damage from that one, but hopefully I will in the next one. So use Lunar Dance and Potion again. Sure. So now I have stored 3 of these. Good. And now I'll send out a completely healthy Pokemon. One that has taken no damage at all. And I won't use any, I think I'll kill turns with that one slide as well. So now I'll switch Psyduck into Voltund. Okay, now I'll swap to Psyduck. Oh, you'll be fine, Voltund. I can kill you. Yep, Healing Wish number 1. Hopefully they hit my Psyduck. That'd be convenient. Good. Now I'm switching to my Golduck. I should get Healing Wish number 2. Should have Side Roared. That would have saved a turn. Oh well. That was... Did I miss the timing already? Wait a minute, that was Moonlight. That was the that was definitely Lunar Dance second. Oh, I didn't recover anything there. I must have already recovered all 3. Did I? Did I? Psyduck, Golduck. I think I only recovered 2 there. Which means you can only have 1 active Healing Wish. I think that's the case. I think so. I'm actually going to pause recording real fast. And then I will check to see what exactly happened there. Okay, I am back, and I can confirm that I was not just blind. There's only 2 effects that were stored there, so it looks like I can't store multiple Healing Wishes. So, like, if you use Healing Wish and then use Healing Wish again, you can't store 2 Healing Wish, which I guess makes sense. I don't know why you'd need multiple Healing Wish. Cavering's like, alright, buddy, you already have 1. That's enough. Gotta finish what you have first before you can eat the dessert. Anyway. So what I'm going to do, now that we know that, is I'm going to use Healing Wish, and then I'm going to use Lunar Dance, and then I'm going to use Healing Wish again. Because last time we did 2 Healing Wishes into Lunar Dance. I'm glad we didn't do it in that order. Because now if I do this, I'm going to assume that it's going to change the Q order. And that should let us determine exactly what's going on here. So we'll go ahead and use Healing Wish. And I will Potion. Mashing that A button. Good, they attacked me. Okay, and now let's go Cresselia. Now I'll go ahead and go for Lunar Dance. I can actually switch out Psyduck at this point. I think that'll save a turn. Golduck. So, what I'm hoping here is, now that I've basically told it, hey, so we just used Healing Wish and now we used Lunar Dance, I'm gonna hope that this next Healing Wish overrides the Q, so that way it'll shove it back to the front. So we'll know that basically whether or not this Healing Wish counts or not relative to that Q. Which will be kind of cool. I'll just use Amnesia. Ah, that should be okay. I just can't switch into my Golduck. It's kind of not smart, but it actually doesn't matter too much. Because what we're expecting to happen here is I go Psyduck, and this should now be... Wait, it should always be Healing Wish. With the setup I just did. Right? Yeah, wouldn't it always be Healing Wish? Yeah, it'd always be Healing Wish, because it'd either be the first one or the last one. How would I do that properly, then? I already did 1, 2, or 1, 1, 2. And if I just did 1, 2, 1. So the only way to see that would be if I did 2, 1, 1. No, that wouldn't make a difference. I don't think you can see it, can you? Let me write out to see if there's any combos I'm missing here. So if I replace my notebook. So if I say Healing Wish is 1 and Lunar Dance is 2, I could do 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. There's no other combination. And none of them would help me isolate if that, like, replaces it in the queue or something. No, yes it does, because this Healing Wish went first. This Healing Wish went first. Yeah, okay, I did do it the correct way. So, because Healing Wish went first here, that means it's not updating. Because otherwise, it would have said, okay, take the old Healing Wish out, put the new Healing Wish in. So the new Healing Wish would have gone to the back of the line. But you have Lunar Dance up front, and it still went first. So what that means is that basically using Healing Wish a second time, or using Lunar Dance a second time, will not override their status in the queue. Which is good to know. Let me see if there's anything else that's relevant with this. Which means you couldn't tell the difference between two Healing Wishes if you stack them. It's always the first Healing Wish. I don't know if that matters or anything, but interesting to know. Trying to think if there's any other things that I can do to make a difference here. I can't... Well, I thought I had something on my brain, but it is escaping me. I'll just go ahead and reset it. Maybe that'll help me think. Oh yeah, I was gonna test to see. No, we already know what happens if one has. So this is both HP, right? And so we should already know that. So if they both happen to be there, that's a tiebreaker. Just whichever one was used first. So I think that sufficiently answers it. So let's go ahead and move on to our next question. And I know this one is a series of questions. So this guy, Lectrix, asks a number of questions. Can Core Enforcer disable Neutralizing Gas? Can Core Enforcer disable as 1? Can Worry Seer Gastro Acid disable as 1? And can Core Enforcer still not suppress the ability of switch-ins? And then he asks questions about Transistor and Dragon's Maw, which I answer down below. I answer that question only, I think, from this fellow. So this fellow's question actually prompted me to look at some situations from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And when I did some digging on this, let me go ahead and open it up. Let's go ahead and get the correct one here. So it should be, I believe, this one. So this guy actually ended up raising a whole host of other questions. Let's see, this one was... Nope, that's the Showdown list. Let's go ahead and open up the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon list. Because I also had a list of the Showdown effects, so I could compare them for help. So we can see here that what typically Game Freak does with its a list of ability effects that will fail is it has like a general table, and then it adds specific ones. So like for skill swap, it adds Illusion and Wonder Guard. So it uses this regular table that uses Illusion and Wonder Guard. The reason why this is useful is because, like for example, Core Enforcer and Gastro Acid only work on the general bands. So what that means is basically, if you can have at least an Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, now technically I have not proved this yet in Sword and Shield, but I find it highly unlikely that something changed. All I can do is basically say, if you can disable neutralizing gas with Gastro Acid, then that means Core Enforcer would also disable it. And that's useful because it's very hard to test Core Enforcer. Because Core Enforcer is a spread move, so you cannot easily test it against CPUs. And so it's pretty useful for that. So we'll go ahead and test Gastro Acid versus a couple of these abilities. We're going to test quite a few, actually, because I think this could be pretty handy. So let's go ahead and swap back to our Switch. And I'll go ahead and this time we'll grab a Gastro Acid Pokemon. So we'll grab a Gastro Acid Pokemon. That will work, but let's see, do we have a faster one? Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna put this in my in-game box, because this is my in-game Boltund. I use him to catch Pokemon. Okay. So we need to grab a number of Pokemon that I suspect that we can disable their abilities. And then there'll be a couple that I'm not so sure of. But let's go ahead and grab the really obvious one, which is As1. Now we should not be able to disable this. That's not if I went to abilities. As1. I think there's two of them in here. I think the fused one I have is Grimnay right now. Yep. So we got this guy. I leveled this guy up. I need to put him in my in-game box, actually. Because he is, like, really, really useful for fighting against the multi-battle tournament stuff. Because he can just kill two Pokemon at once, unlike Zacian, which you can only kill one Pokemon at once. You typically won't lose with Zacian, but you won't lose with Calyrex either, so... And Calyrex is faster, typically. Unless you die to Piers' Dunk Tank Sucker Punch. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I also wanted to test Neutralizing Gas, even though I actually know what that one does already. I've tested that one before myself. But it won't hurt to actually see it on camera. What do you know right here? And that'll actually be good because I'll be able to trigger on Nerve again. Just to verify very quickly that it works. Okay. And then we'll also... I wanted to test a couple others. I don't believe he had any on his list in particular. But there's a few that I want to test. I want to grab Hunger Switch. If I had to guess, I think this will disable it. Then we have Gulp Missile. I don't know whether or not it will disable Gulp Missile or not. Okay. Gulp Missile. And then also Ice Face. Ice Face. That is the Moose again. and I think this is faster than genning, so all of you naysayers out there, plus it guarantees the Pokemon are legal and, you know, it avoids ambiguity there. So I'm going to go ahead and save. I think I'll actually lead with Weezing and Calyrex, or excuse me, Galvantula and Weezing. Be a little bit easier. I don't think I'll need the opponent to have 2 Pokemon, so I'll just go ahead and Gastro Acid, and I'll heal up with Milcery. Yep, you can see it causes the effects of Neutralizing Cast to wear off. Then we have a Nerve. So I'm going to make some notes on this as well. Okay, and then we're going to do Gastro Acid and Gas. Yes. I should say works. Now we're going to go ahead and use it into my Calyrex. This should fail. Yep, doesn't work. And now if I try this again, into Pico, I expect that this will work. Yep, it does work. So that means it won't change forms at the end of the turn. And now for some ones I'm not sure of. Cramorant. I don't know about Cramorant. It does fail, okay. Gulp. Missile. Fails. So if I go ahead and use Gastro Acid again into my Ice Cube, I also expect this to fail because it fails on Disguise. Yep, it fails on Disguise as well. So Ice Face fails. And so if it's exactly like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which I expect it to be, I'd be shocked if it wasn't. That means that nothing can be used to mess with Gulp Missile, Ice Face, or As One. And I know, like, from preliminary testing with other people that have done stuff, like, you can't skill swap any of these abilities, you can't roleplay any of these abilities. So it's very probable that it is still the same way, I'd imagine. I can't imagine that that part would change too much. So we will go ahead and load back into the game. So now that we know that, that pretty well answers the core enforcer question from the fellow, because that's like something that doesn't need to worry about. Worry Seed is also something that that we answered from this fellow. The only thing we haven't answered is core enforcer versus ability switch-ins, which I think he actually misunderstands. But we're actually not going to get to that quite yet. I want to see what other stuff you can use with Morpeko. I want to see what else we can use to override it and like what you can do to mess with it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Skill Swap. So I'm pretty sure Skill Swap will not work. So we're just looking for Morpeko here, so I can replace everything else in my boxes. I might want to test Neutralizing Gas some of these effects later with it, but we'll see. So skill swap. Go ahead and grab roleplay. And we'll need receiver. This one will be fun. It can KO the Morpeko, so that's good. And then Trace is going to be really hard to test, but we'll go ahead and grab Entrainment. We don't need Neutralizing gas anymore, so I can grab another one. Entrainment. I already tested Gastro Acid just now. I can test something like Simple Beam. Should be simple enough. This is one where hacking probably would make it a little bit faster, because I'd just be able to hack them directly on. Like, I'd be able to hack like 4 moves on to Trevenant at once. But I did not do that. Aura Wheel's fine. Yep. Skill swap fails. Let's go ahead and try roleplay. Yep, and roleplay fails. If used on hunger, switch. Let's go ahead and swap into my Swoobat. Simple Beam overwrites it just fine. No surprise there. So this means I need to switch out 2 Pokemon here. I'll just stay in with this one actually. If I use entrainment. Yeah, it works with use on Hunger Switch. Okay. I don't actually understand that one yet. Okay. Alright, now my Pico is going to have the fun task of attempting to knock out this Fesimian. Or, excuse me, the other way around. My Pesimian is going to knock out the Morpeko. In which case, I could have attacked there. I did not even think about that. Okay. Hopefully this should just do it, though. Nice. Okay. See if I can pick it up. Nope. Receiver does not copy. And that should have been all of these guys. So we tried all of those effects. I'm just going to be thorough. I won't be able to try Core Enforcer, but whatever. I don't really know how it works. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll grab Worry Seed. Is that Worry Seed? Nope. No such luck. Oh, perfect. This will execute does. Okay. Worry Seed. Does Neutralizing Gas negate it? That's a good question. Should have got rid of my Weezing from before. Okay. I've got these two. I've got Wandering Spirit. And then also Mummy. I expect Wandering Spirit to fail, since it's a it's one of those. But yeah, let's go ahead and grab Mummy. I do not have Mummy, so I guess I'm going to have to hack that in real quick. I don't need the Swoobats right now. I don't need this Dino right now either. Let me put you away. Here we go. And I think I can only do this in my boxes, so we'll just go ahead and hop over here. And I need to hop online. I know I can't ride my bicycle right now. I wasn't trying to ride my bicycle. Nope, don't link trade. Instead, let's get ourselves some Pokemon. Okay, I want a Mummy Pokemon. So let's go ahead and generate one of those real ones real fast. So that's Cofagrigus with Mummy Eh. This'll do. And then I want another Pokemon. I'll just take this one. And we'll give it... Here, we'll make it a Morpeko. Let's actually go ahead and grab... Let's put Morpeko inside our box so I can get a real Morpeko here real fast. And we'll go ahead and we'll give this guy entrainment, roleplay, skill swap. And what else do I want to give him? That should do. Okay. So now I have access to my Cofagrigus. And this has Bite, so that's good. And now this Morpeko has all sorts of things that I can use. Alright, which one's the real one? This is the real one, ain't it? Yep, okay, let's test most of the stuff with the real one first where we can. Okay. Boom, pew, 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 pew. Yep, I'm able to overwrite that, no problem. Not a huge surprise there. Urseed works. So I need to switch this guy out. Switch it out to this guy, sure. Do 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 do. All right. You cannot switch Swirlix. Yeah, let's go back out to real Morpeko. Hopefully this does not KO my Lunar, but I don't think it will. Okay, I don't remember if that actually works or not, so we'll test it later again. I'll take a Cofagrigus. I'll go ahead and I'll heal my other guy. I'll go for Bite, and this one shouldn't kill because that has a lot more levels. Yep. And Mummy is able to override it. So we can go ahead and switch out now. And my plan this time is I'm going to use an X defend. I'm not going to hurt myself. That's my plan. X defend. Had to think about it for a second. Alright, do not faint. Good. And so you can verify, yeah, it still doesn't do anything. Okay. And let's go ahead and swap in that wheezing. And we can bite ourselves, that's okay. So I should not transform. Yep, I do not transform. And I still have Hunger Switch, so that confirms it for me. Low battery, eh? I'll go ahead and I'll just do that, and I'll do Torment. Yep, I'm able to transform with these two fellas just fine. So now let's go ahead and try some other stuff. So can I roleplay my Swirlix then? Actually, let's go ahead and roleplay something a little bit more reasonable on our side of things. Let's execute. Chlorophyll ain't one of those abilities that's blocked. It doesn't fail. Okay, fails if used on Hunger Switch. Does not fail if user uses roleplay. I think this makes sense now. I think this makes a lot more sense now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll switch out my Morpeko to this guy, and we'll just go turn. So we'll go back out to our hacked Morpeko. So I was able to roleplay just fine. I couldn't roleplay to copy Hunger Switch, but I could roleplay to replace Hunger Switch. So let's go ahead and now use our entrainment into execute, and I assume this will fail. Yep. Works if used on Hunger Switch. Fails if user uses entrainment. Okay, so that didn't work. I expect skill swap to not work either. Be shocked if it didn't. Yep, and skill swap obviously didn't do anything either. I'm not really too surprised there, and you shouldn't be either. Fails if used on Hunger Stitch, or if user. Okay, and that's everything. So let's go ahead and swap back to our thing over here. So if we look at our Ultra Sun and Moon abilities for effects that will fail. So it can't be a general ban because Gastro Acid worked on it. So it can't be a general ban. However, it could be that it's just only explicitly banned in skill swap. Maybe in roleplay. I might I think something that this list is interesting. I don't have in this list, I think accurately, which ones like the user can replace and which ones the target can replace. So I think I might have to do a little bit more work from this one for the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon ones. But regardless, let's go ahead and we hop back over here. In any case, we answered this guy's question. Yes, because Gastro Acid can. Not like, I mean, like you'd have to have a ring target wheezing to use that normally. But this one, Core Enforcer versus Switch-ins. And so this guy I think is mistaken. That's not exactly how Core Enforcer works, so far as I know. I'm pretty sure it works by... I'm obviously looking up on Bulbapedia here, so it's not like guaranteed to be accurate. But this is a good first place for checking mechanics. I trust Bulbapedia pretty reliably. And my order of trust, it goes like Smogon Battle Mechanics Research Thread, Bulbapedia, PS Dex. Actually, PS Dex, because something's better. The target has already used the move. Yeah, exactly, that's what it is. And it's a shame that's a spread move. So if the target has already used the move, then it will suppress the target. But if it hasn't moved yet, then it doesn't do that. So if we hop back in here, I need to grab, go ahead, a Core Enforcer Pokemon. The tricky thing here might be getting the Zygarde to boost second. I'm also trying to think if there's a quick way of making it so you can roar out the opponent with priority. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is Sleep Talk Roar. So we'll probably be doing that. So, oh, not in here. Not that either. What am I thinking? I need to fly. Fly. Okay. Have the Kirkchester. Because we need to force Pokemon to switch out. Or minimally, we need them to not be fiery types. So I can't use my testing that I normally do there. Could get on my bike there and saved a couple frames, but I didn't. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and we'll grab our Core Enforcer Pokemon, which we might actually not even have. And if we don't, that's okay. C for Core Enforcer. Nope, we don't. So I need to just get any of those anyway, so we'll just do just 21 will do fine. Okay. Because we can just hold an Iron Ball for most of these. Maybe I don't want to do specifically this one. Maybe I'll do one of like these. There you go. This Electabuzz looks... Yeah, I mean, maybe let's do the Regidraco. Looks pretty cool. And then we'll need a Sleep Talk Roar Pokemon. So we'll need both of those. So we'll go ahead and connect back to the internet. And so we'll go ahead and do this. Iron Ball, and then we'll have a Core Enforcer. And for this other one, I also get a Spore actually. I need another one, so we'll just grab another Pokemon that's right next to it. We'll grab Sleep Talk. We'll grab Roar. Give it Prankster. Okay. Alright, now we've got this guy. Mad Hacks. Okay, let's go ahead and save. So, first thing I want to check to see is, actually I'll go ahead and spore these out first. And then that should be actually a pretty good way of testing it. So you can see here, my guy isn't slower than that guy. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? How positively frustrating. I think I saved. Alright, I guess we'll give it a K-tube. Not use GIF. Morimoto is so annoying to test with. Because you can't just like... Probably just should have just made these Pokemon gigantic level, but I didn't. I should have thought not to browse Ghost Week into a battle with Morimoto, but whatever. I'll just struggle through it. Okay. Technically, if I had made Regidraco Prankster as well, then I probably could have done something with it, but whatever. Don't paralyze me. No. Come on. Cooperate with me. Good. Good. That's fine. Okay. No. Good. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to go for Core Enforcer. I hope I roll it on the... Actually, I don't know which one I hope I roll it on, but... It doesn't really matter. Actually, I hope I roll it on Craplock then. But it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and use Roar. I force out the Graplock. And now Snorlax comes in. And so this shouldn't affect either of them. Yep, no ability suppression message on either of them. And I assumed Regidraco is actually faster than these guys, so... I actually won't be able to test this. Actually, I'm curious if... Yeah, he does. He does go for the Dynamax with Snorlax as soon as it's sent out. That's cool. Alright, well, I don't feel like having him do that. So my Regidrago is faster, or excuse me, slower than the Graplock, so we can see that as well. So obviously I'm using Roar here and not like a normal switch out, but it's the exact same idea. The Pokemon has to move in the turn. Actually, I can just go right into it, can't I? Alright, so as long as Graplock attacks me here, which I hope it does, now I'll go next defend. Lock to lock, perfect. And so now I'll be able to negate the Graplock's ability because I moved after it. Yep, and its ability was suppressed. You can see that it uses the exact same message. Ability was suppressed, as what Gastro Acid does. By the way, I love this one. Okay. So, Core Enforcer's mechanics have not changed one bit. So, with that, well, I was going to end this off here, but I think we actually have time for one more. So let's go ahead and swap back to our streams capture, and we'll go ahead and do this. So there's nothing else on this page that we already hasn't been answered, but this one doesn't. Does slow start affect body press? That's a good question, isn't it? Does slow start affect body press? And so that's a really easy one. I actually know the answer to it already. The answer is yes, it does. But let's go ahead and get it on camera, just to see why. So if you've seen my body press mechanics Monday video, you already know that all body press does is replace the starting defense, or excuse me, the starting attack stat with the starting defense stat and the starting boost and drops to +6 to -6. Everything else still applies the same way. So that means, it also means I'm going to just hack on something real fast, because I don't have one of these guys handy. So let's go ahead and grab Regigigas. I hate Pokemon searching system. Alright. There we go. Fortunately, I do not have it right here, but that's okay. And I'll just grab some other Pokemon in here. I'm going to have the live access on anyway, so might as well make it level 100 while I'm doing it. Oh, I didn't connect to the internet. I was like, huh, that's taking a while for it to load. I believe we're in now. It looks like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and bump this up to level like 80. And I'll just gen in 2 of these. I'm sufficiently high level that I don't need to reset here. So we got 2 Regigigas here. Let's go ahead and make some notes of their stats. Actually, I can get into a battle. That'll give me time to pull up the damage calculator. So you can see both of them are going to have to get their axe going. Okay, so we need their... So this is 205 defense. Perfect. And so they're just hitting each other here with body press. So if it was not negated, we would be looking at somewhere between... or if it was not being affected by it, we'd be looking at somewhere between 94 to 112 damage, but otherwise I expect it to be halved, so somewhere between half of 94 to 112 is roughly what I would expect. So I'll go ahead and use body press on myself. And I'll just kick it back to the Cursula. $290 down to 240, only dealt 50 damage. And what do you know? 50 damage is not between 94 to 112. But if my defense was halved, it would do exactly that much damage. So, as I thought, slow start does negate, or it does weaken body press. But anyway, I believe that's good enough for now. I'll go ahead and pause it for here. Actually, not pause it here. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the video here. And we will be back the next time with more mechanics research from the mechanics research thread. Again, if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will answer them if I'm able to. It'd help if I stop the video as well.